So if I click start recording, that will record. Yes. Okay. I'm new to Expo, and here it says EAS Hosting tried the first end-to-end deployment solution for universal app development. So I think that's like a Vercel for native development. So let's read that. I think EAS Hosting preview. January 14th. Oh, this is new stuff. Okay. Host Expo server code in the cloud with EAS. Product development generated. Field Plugin Engineering. Introducing EAS Hosting, the first ever end-to-end deployment solution for universal app development. My app expo.app EAS deploy. From weather apps and commerce websites to AI-powered chat apps, most modern applications today need reliable servers. That's why today we are introducing EAS hosting for instantly deploying and scaling universal API routes, React websites, and more. The challenge of universal app deployment. Many massive companies such as Netflix, Meta, and Apple use server-driven UI in their native apps. But building a server-driven application is extremely challenging and simply out of reach for most developers. Our goal with Expo Router has been to solve this problem and enable anyone to build and scale world-class server-driven apps for Android, iOS, and web using the same codebase. To this end, we have introduced API routes that can be used to create server endpoints for your app, secure environment variables, and static generation for web pages, and building toward universal React server components. While all these features work great on local dev server, deployment has become more challenging. There are many full-stack problems to consider when building a modern application. We have historically recommended deploying Expo websites and universal API routes to traditional hosting services that are focused only on websites, like Vercel. But hosting services for websites traditionally don't integrate with the problems native apps face. Yeah, Vercel. New versions of your servers might need to be deployed while a new version of your native app are being published to app stores. Different versions of your native app might need to have their requests routed to different versions of your server. Observability of servers for critical metrics such as feature adoption by platform become more important for Expo native apps. With EAS hosting, in conjunction with the EAS workflows, we are providing an end-to-end deployment solution that just works across all platforms and stays working as you scale. EAS hosting is here. In addition to our fantastic native deployment, you can now push websites, API routes, environment variables. We'll be adding native support via export React server components soon. Introducing. Interesting. How to get started with EAS hosting? First, ensure you are using the latest version of the EAS CLI. npm okay. Installing the CLI. Then simply bundle your application with Expo CLI. Then deploy your website and server code worldwide using a single EAS command and get a preview URL immediately. Okay, that is it. Your website. Okay, this is only for web. Your website and API routes are now live with a beautiful .expo.app URL that you can share with anyone. For an example, Expo web deployment, visit this. Let's see. Okay, hello world. Hello. Hello. Evan Bacon. Evan Bacon. Okay. Log. Okay. So what are you telling me? You created a Vercel that syncs with your native, with your app code, and really get that environment variables, so the .env file. Okay, where's that? EAS hosting that covers deployments and analysis. Okay, let's continue reading. It's a brings. Okay, the video. The time for EAS hosting is now. Today, EAS Workflow, EAS Build, EAS Summit, and EAS Update provide you with the tools you need to get a native Expo app built, tested, and delivered to users' devices via app stores. As Expo's feature set is expanding to include more capabilities which target servers on the web, such as API routes for Expo Web and React server components, we can ignore the need for a new EAS service that allows you to get your apps to production even if they make use of our new server-side features. As mentioned above, EAS Hosting provides you with a new server to deploy API routes for your Expo native apps and Expo web apps. New service to deploy API routes for your Expo native apps and Expo web apps. Okay. This is the first to many steps forward building a platform that can support our future ambitions for server-side code and web support for Expo. Initially, we are launching EAS Hosting as a public preview while we are monitoring your feedback and usage patterns. We are confident in it scaling as it should, but some parts of EAS hosting are still subject to changes as we are iterating. EAS hosting expands our set of services to deploying API routes, server functions, and server components to the cloud, building servers that can handle exposed features, future feature-specific requirements or advanced server-side features, while also providing the best-of-class debugging and metrics. As part of EAS hosting allows as a platform, EAS hosting allows us to polish the development experience and capabilities of a hosting service that will support React server components natively and will integrate well with Expo apps that make API calls to it. Okay. You can already write server-side code in the same Expo code base you're already working in. With EAS hosting, you will be able to deploy this logic alongside your app during your EAS building process and instantly gain access to login and metrics for your server-side code. What features will EAS hosting support on day one? Deploying an exported Expo web app, either in server or static mode, is done with one command: EAS deploy. When setting up your project for EAS hosting for the first time, you'll pick a preview name, and each deployment you create will subsequently get its own preview URL. Afterwards, your deployment will immediately be available under a preview URL such as myAppID.expo.app. With a paid plan, there are no limits on how many deployments you can create, and all deployments will remain accessible This feature will be important cornerstone in the future when trying worker deployments to native apps. It will allow you to deploy many versions of your API and tie them from your native apps release versions. EAS hosting records runtime crashes, requests, and logs, makes them available to you via the dashboard. From day one, you will have one of the best visibility and debugging experiences EAS has ever had. Okay, account, project, dashboard, hosting, you can see the logs. Okay, interesting. iOS, North America, US. Interesting. The EAS dashboard request shows per request metrics such as on response status, path, user agent, and geographical information. And how JavaScript runtime exceptions will be recorded and categorized by their error messages, and you'll be able to view them per request or across your entire hosting project. Hosting crashes, view shows categorized information about uncaught runtime exceptions. Error new. Error outpost API. Okay. Error login. With requests being recorded, we are also offering a metrics view, which gives you a quick overview of how many requests your deployment are handling, where they are coming from, where they are coming from, and how long your deployment is taking to process them. Let's see this. Okay, run this system. Okay. And why will you expect your service to fail that way? No. Okay, let's continue. Metrics offer a quick overview over number of requests and crashes and faceted metrics for data points such as geographical location and service and device type. Dyslexia. All 4 views of the data EAS hosting tracks are available at launch: crashes, logs, requests, and metrics. And we are actively working on expanding these views based on your feedback and are working on specialized views for React Server components. EAS hosting under the hood and in the future. We have partnered with Cloudflare. To build EAS. Cloudflare is really great. To build EAS hosting on Cloudflare's workers platform. This allows you to deploy APIs to a serverless platform with exceptional performance, reliability, and without worrying about the scale. And Cloudflare is very cost efficient, so that's a great movement of Expo. Under the hood, Cloudflare workers use the V8 JavaScript engine, which also powers Chromium and Node.js. Rather than running on individual virtual machines, applications deployed using EAS hosting deploys to workers using small V8 isolates, small scopes in the V8 engine, which spin up rapidly and limit their resources safely. Cloudflare workers were the natural choice for us to build on, as they are part of the WinterTC Technical Committee on Web Interoperable Summer Runtimes. Winter. Code you write for EAS hosting uses web standard APIs such as fetch, request, and response, and will be compatible with most other JavaScript runtimes and hosting services. While this means that some Node.js libraries won't be compatible, at least right now, some Node.js compatible modules are available and will work as expected. In the future, we are looking to emulate this environment locally with a CLI command so you can code confidentially and know that your server will work then when deployed to EAS hosting. That will be great. just to make sure that you're not writing code that won't be able to run on the server. What's next for EAS Hosting? We are thrilled to ship this preview of EAS Hosting today. This is the first ever end-to-end deployment solution for universal app development, and we are eager for everyone to test it and share their feedback. As excited as we are about hosting, we are even more excited about what this unlocks for developers moving forward. Here, what you can expect. As we are building out our support for React Server components, EAS Hosting gave us a platform to grow alongside and be the easiest hosting service for your Expo applications, powered by React server-side capabilities. We are actively exploring adding more complex and non-standard features to worker deployments that lie in more deeply with Cloudflare Workers ecosystem and the feature offered by Cloudflare. Going forward, we'll improve Expo CLI emulation of our hosting platform, so you can write code and be confident it's working identically as intended when you're testing it locally. Thanks for reading the post. Oh, you're welcome. And please give us EAS Hosting a try. You can find this. It costs. You can find its pricing on our pricing page. There's a free tier. Oh, feel free to ask questions in our Discord, EAS Hosting channel, and report issues on the Expo/EAS CLI repo. Developer trust is our top priority at Expo. We appreciate your patience as we sharpen in this EAS hosting preview into a solution for all apps built with Expo over the course of 2025. Thank you. Let's see the pricing. Oh my god. Free plan. 30 mobile apps built per month. Mobile apps built per month. Interesting. And this is like you can have multiple apps per project. Not sure. Submit to the app stores. Okay, you can submit directly to iOS, the App Store of iOS and Play Store of Android directly from Expo. Interesting. Send updates to 1,000 monthly active users. Okay. On demand, popular. Pay as you go and scale flexibly based on your usage. Usage pricing. Okay. Kickoff build 2 hour build timeout. Okay. So here, if my app took longer than 2 hours, it will fail. Interesting. I think Barcel has something similar. I have deployed an application that made a lot of free rendering one time, and the completion time was like the build time was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and one time it failed. So I think that's a reasonably limit. I think I'm not sure how much time it takes for an iOS or Android app to build, but we'll be seeing that. Production plan for teams with growing user bases, 99 month. Interesting. Oh, plus additional usage. 99 of big creators and 50,000 monthly active users to build concurrency. Okay. That's fair. You know, with Vercel. Sorry, I'm just comparing it to Vercel because it's the platform I'm using a lot nowadays. So it seems like in the free plan you can be you can have like one deployment at a time. The same as in Vercel, I think. Okay, replies. 999 synapse. What? 1 million users for 1,000 a month sounds reasonable. 5 billion concurrencies. Interesting. So that's all for Expo. EAS Hosting. That's interesting. So we'll see more about this in the upcoming days. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the reading as much as I do. Oh my god, this took 20 minutes. And it said it would last 10 minutes. Oh, so did I read too slow or they lied to us? I think the first one is the correct answer. Thank you for watching. Bye. Have a great day.